Shai, Shem Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles, elders of Green Millstone, and doing well. And I've taught us this word, as well as the bishops have taught us this word in truth and sincerity. It should look this up a little bit.
Don't listen to I should put it over
That's taught us this word in truth and sincerity, all right, in peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000. That's pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the whole course of the earth. And the rest of you elect and sincerely believe, peace and mercy to you and your household. So once again, we come in and week out, okay? To prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom, which is ruled by Esau, Edom. All right, that's the biblical nationality of the so-called white man. All right, and his spiritual father is Satan. Okay, and those of you that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, right, and Native Indians, North American Indians, Native Indians, you guys, your biblical nationality is Israelites. You guys are Israelites. There should be enough room for each. Yeah. So yeah, man, you guys, your true nationality or your biblical nationality is Israelites. All right, and as Israelites, there's no other name under heaven, okay, that we are to call on, other than the name Yahweh and Yahweh Shah. Can brother get that for me? What? I think it's Acts. And then another brother can hold. You got some?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. Another brother can hold Wisdom of Solomon 3. We're gonna go through that chapter.
I got Acts.
Yeah.
Okay, so Acts chapter 4.
Hold on, Stephanie.
No, let him come on with that, because this is okay. This is going to be a long one.
Okay. Go ahead, man.
Okay, Acts chapter 4, verse 12, and it says, "Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved."
Yeah, so you newer believers, you can't be beguiled by the false doctrine of these other Israelite camps. They're teaching you that, basically they're teaching you and pushing the notion out there that you can call the Most High whatever you want, and that the Most High has multiple names. The Most High doesn't have multiple names. He has multiple titles. That's the difference between a name. His personal name that he gave to Moses, as Moses is his messenger. Any messenger that brings a message and the man asks you, who do you come, or who sent you? That message doesn't have an answer. In the ancient world, that was off of his head, most likely. Right? So we can't be messengers of the Heavenly Father and His Son and not know his name, his personal name and his Son's personal name. And it said there's no other name. So if there's no other name, that indirectly implies that there's only one name. If there's no other name, if I give you a bracelet and I say this is the only kind, there's the only bracelet of its kind, and you go telling other people that yeah, I can, and I got a bunch more bracelets just like this one. That's a lie. So there's only one name that the Heavenly Father goes by, all right, his personal name, and his Son, which is Yahweh Shai. And this is, if you want to be saved, it's gonna take more than just calling upon these names. You're gonna have to be acquainted with the reputation behind these names. You have to be acquainted with that. Okay, and the Most High is gonna put you through your own sufferings and trials and tribulations, so you can get acquainted with His name and His Son's name. Okay, that's faith. That's building up your faith.
And that's what you were saying is, each and every one of us in the truth, we're dual sons of the Most High, right? I was just thinking of something, because like basically how the stones, they all have their own properties, right? Each brother is like the same stone, right? Has its own properties, and it's going to be tested for what its value is worth, right? Right. Under from hot to cold, right? Your trials and tribulations.
That's right.
To make you better, right? It's always to make you better.
That's right.
Right? But even though failure is there, you don't have to accept it. It says a righteous man getteth up 7 times. Right? Right? So continue. Right? It says, be faithful unto death. The scripture says. Let's start here at 1 John, 4:1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby.
Let me ask you, brothers, what's one way you could test the spirit of a teacher or a prophet? One way. There's obviously multiple ways, but give me one way. How can these newer believers practicalize this precept? How can they put to a test? Because some believers are watching teachers that are in different states and different countries. So how can they test to see whether they be of the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yashai or not?
Well, like you just said, if they know the name, it's an easy one.
Okay, I'm looking for something else. One simple thing. The apostles always tell us not to be this one thing. You know, how do you test the spirit of a prophet, of a teacher? Look up what he's saying. Look up what he's teaching you, right? The apostles always tell us, don't just hear what we say, go look it up for yourselves.
I don't know, the brother can look up well,
Be like the Bereans.
in Acts. Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Yep. So you newer believers, it starts with us, it starts with our apostles on down. Any teacher you come across, look up what they're saying. That's why the apostles, especially Apostle Kabar, you know, the Spirit's been on him to constantly tell you newer believers, okay, write these precepts down, follow along. You know, a lot of us here have been in the truth for a decade and some change. You know, and I know every single one of us will spend hours writing down notes, books on books. You know?
When I first got this truth, I wasn't sleeping, man.
Study for sure.
I wasn't sleeping. I was up till like 4 a.m. watching videos. I'm like, gotta find more. Where's more?
Same thing. Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
You know?
Beautiful. And it was lengthy, man. Like I remember, you know, when I was first coming in, I would watch, you know, when they had the Elders Milk, they do the breakdowns of Genesis and stuff. Like 3 videos would take maybe 3-4 videos would take maybe an hour each, so 4 hours. I'll fall asleep on the pen. So you're writing things down, you're going back over it when you're done. Now, obviously, we're in the latter days. You newer believers don't really, if you have that time, use it, but things are speeding up. So you have to be sharp. You have to be sharp. You can't be lazy. We don't even have the same time that our elders had. So it applies to us too. So write these things down, write these precepts down, follow along, right? Because it's only going to strengthen your faith. The more knowledge you acquire, the more acquainted you get with Yahweh Shem Yashai.
Yeah, that's the command. Real quick, Revelation 1 and 3, 1 verse 3, it talks about blessed. There's a special blessing for them who read and understand the word. So that's going into that. The Lord gave that command, right? And then when you go into the churches, the Bereans, that's exactly who they were. And I just wanted to add real quick to what Men said. Before back in the day, hey, listen, I have lots of binders. This was before I started to get indoctrinated in the truth. I'm talking about searching. I have a whole bunch of binders, notes taken about the truth before coming into the truth. And I'm talking about when I was called. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even the information. Yeah, I'm not even in yet. Binders upon binders. Hey, all of those men up there and these men here, right? And that goes into that parable, as we know, where it talks about, the 11th hour, the man that came in at the first hour versus the man that came in at the 11th hour, right? And we believe that we came in at the 11th hour.
No, actually, I think it's
7th hour.
Yeah, we came by on the 7th.
Yeah, that's right. Okay? And,
I came a little later after.
okay? You know what I'm saying? So now how much more the men that coming at the 11th hour, right? In the spirit, you got to be, and this is what they tell us.
The reason why I say the 7 because it's when GMS actually went global. Yeah, global.
Beautiful point.
Through the, via internet unicorn.
Beautiful point. Beautiful point.
Yeah.
You see? So yeah, simply put, man. But and when we came in, they said you gotta study 100 times more than ever. So that's it. So you should know. So when the questions are asked, It's not that you don't understand, it's not that you don't understand what is being asked, right? But you get shocked by the statement. And you just got to go back to simplicity, the milk in the understanding. So the question was asked, Brother Tiffany, the question was asked.
Yeah, how do you properly try the spirit? But you still have more in yours, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, keep on. That was the main point. That was the main search it, don't just listen, write things down, and search it out for yourself.
Yeah, simple, believe in everything.
That's right.
Hereby, obviously like it. 1 John 4:2. Hereby know ye the spirit of Yahweh, ye the spirit of Yahweh, every spirit that confesses that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh of Yahweh.
Yeah, man, that's a really good point.
I'll read it again.
Yeah, read it again.
It says, hereby know ye the spirit of Yahweh. Every spirit that confesseth that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh is of God. And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh is not of Yahweh. And
because Slaki, spiritually, when you're coming into the flesh, you confess on Yahweh Bashim El Shai, you confess those names, you're putting them out there, you're teaching them. Now you have to walk in the same flesh Yahweh Shai walks. So you got to walk like how Yahweh Shai walks, parabolically. Okay? And earlier today, you mentioned, Barak, you mentioned, you have to embody Yahweh Shai. Right? You embody his sufferings. That's a part of this walk. For a lot of you newer believers, and you know what? Most of the time, it's going to be unfair. Most of the time, it has to be unfair. And it makes sense because now you're left to rely on Yahweh Shim El Shai as the judge of your scenario than man or yourself. And that takes great faith. Don't you know that we're coming into a time where the whole world is going to be openly against us? Openly. The whole world is going to openly be against the elect, the ones that are standing stiffly for the names of Yahweh Bashim El Shai, like Ezra saw. You think it's going to feel fair then? If it doesn't feel fair now, put your mind into what's coming down the pipe and compare the two.
Yeah. Perfect example. Look at P. Diddy. Right? You're just pushing that vibration. Oh, blah blah blah. This video and that. Trying to seal the deal with the cheesecake. Right? You run uptown for a cheesecake, right? Mm-hmm. So with us, it's gonna be 10 times worse, right? For Yahushai's sake, that's what we have to remember. Anything that happens to Yahushai is gonna happen to us, right? But he's gonna defend us, right?
Beautiful point, brother. You brought it out, and if you missed it, right? You just broke down, following that pattern. Right? Hey, that's the real NLP, fuckers. And you know what I'm talking about. That NLP that you guys spit out, right? NLP means neuro-linguistic programming. So we're talking about the author of neuro-linguistic programming. Right? The real NLP, not this fuckery that's going on over here. Neuro-linguistic programming. NLP. Yeah, because he mentioned it. So that's what Yahushua does with us. In a righteous sense, not this fucking fake imagery, right? Because there's a program, and it's very dangerous right now, right? That's coming against the truth, right? But I just wanted to make a point when he said that point, and you broke it down and explain it. It's going into neuro-linguistic programming. The real thing is what you're looking at, not what's in these fucking buildings. These people are telling you to eat all plastic and all this shit and eat this kind of food and eat this and eat that. It's not what this is about, man. Right? But this is the real NLP. If I may use that term, neuro-linguistic programming, where the Holy Spirit, the Rakapadosh, is working with the men of the Lord, and it goes back to right to that question you initially asked. Okay, how the Spirit is guiding the elect. Okay, so anyway, that's the point I just wanted to bring out.
Yeah, about your real NLP, right? Go ahead.
Romans 5 and the point is in verse 3, but I'll start at 1. Therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with Yahweh through Yahweh Shai, by whom also we have access by faith into this grace wherein we stand, and rejoice in hope of the glory of Yahweh. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulations worketh patience.
That's right, and that's what's needed, right? The ability to suffer, the skill, and not just to suffer. Because we're all suffering. It doesn't matter if you're Israelite or not. You're suffering in some shape or form because the wicked is ruling, right? But we got to, as the believers and the teachers, we have to suffer in righteousness, right? We got to suffer the right way. There's a wrong way to suffer, and there's a right way to suffer, which means your integrity, all of our integrities are going to be challenged, right? And all that, your integrity, your patience, your endurance, all that is tied to one source, and that's your faith in Yahweh Shai. Right? So ultimately these extensions of your faith, integrity, endurance, so on and so forth, these are like proving grounds. This is what Esau is used for from the Heavenly Father on the left hand side. Because I was going to bring out a precept in 2 Timothy 2:15 where it talks about study to show yourself approved. Okay. We were going into that a little bit. Yeah, you want to be, if you're going to be a teacher, you want to show that you know what you're talking about when it comes to your power, when it comes to your religion, when it comes to your faith, right? Because there's a heavy judgment for being a lying prophet and being a negligent prophet, willfully being negligent, which means, what does that mean? You don't study, you just go out there and teach whatever you want to teach. That's negligent. And the Most High said, a lazy person is likened to a dung heap, right? Full of shit. Exactly, full of shit. And then also when it comes to being approved, we want to be approved of Yahweh Shai, ultimately.
That's right.
So those things, these like the brother brought the piece about being patient, and in your mind, you gotta think, and that's why the elect rejoice in the truth. Why? Can it come to comfort? Knowing that, okay, I'm going through this and it's not fair, but I know if I endure with my integrity intact and my faith intact with Yahweh Shai, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better after this. That simple thought alone is going to carry the elect all the way up into salvation.
There it is. You just said it in a nutshell. You broke it down. If you were listening, that goes into faith. That's how it starts an evolution, right? In the spirit, man. Right? And yeah, it's very important. So it came up there. A simple way to understand it is that it's a process, and the word mentioned patience came out, right? Patience, we know that goes into trials, because you did mention that, right? But in what? In the spirit, right? And I'm just simply saying you're going to have both sides of the spectrum, which was mentioned, right? Those negative trials that come, right, to bring it to become stronger. That's what the Lord does, man. So yeah. Going back to faith, okay? The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things that are not seen, and we glory in the things that when the Lord does strange things before us. He can do anything He wants, but it's really to convict us, man.
Right. And usually, like your family member or your woman, won't get it. They won't get like what you're maybe in such a good mood about, or why you so focused or so serious about this. And if she's a decent woman, she might try to get it, but she still can't really get it. Because you're at the front lines.
Absolutely.
You can't really understand. But that's what we said, like substance of things hoped for, and evidence of things that are not seen. So only we can see it as the believers.
That's why you get to see the chariots. Come amongst angels, right? Unaware, it might say something, or that degree, or this is proof of that. We had a discussion with the brothers up in Montreal how they had got visited by an angel, right?
Good point. And
he gave him money, and then the guy was like, "Oh, what's that?" Yeah. Gave him like 5 bills. Yeah. And the guy was like, "Oh, he's thankful and this and that." then they never see the guy again. It's like
Yeah.
this guy appeared out of nowhere.
And he was going into the scriptures.
Yeah.
I think he was going into the scriptures too.
Yeah.
Talking about the chariots and how shy. He had this bag of chips or something.
Yeah. I think they said he was like eating, but
It
they
never
didn't-
ran out.
Yeah.
It never. He just kept eating. They were talking.
They were
about
talking
it
for hours.
The bag of chips never ran out. So yeah, man. It can get
All
strange,
praise to
man.
Yahweh Shem Shai, man. Hey,
Yeah.
listen, man. This thing of his that we always say, this thing of ours, man. The Lord is working whether or not you can see it, and it's a special blessing to those who see it. Okay, going into the patience and trials and the faith. And it always goes back to that, man. How you've been led up to this point, even if you're on the negative end. Sirach, I think it's 2 and 2, right? If and when thou come to the Lord, prepare yourself for temptation, set thy heart aright, so forth like that, in spirit and in truth. But it's going to happen on both sides. You know? So yeah, that's what I wanted to mention. Continue on, brother, if you may. Read.
I have another precept
Okay.
on the same topic.
Go ahead.
2 Corinthians 4 and 7. We're going to read down to 10. I'll read in NLT. We now have this light shining in our hearts, which is our mind, but we ourselves are like fragile clay jars containing this great treasure. This makes it clear that our great powers are from Yahweh, not of ourselves.
Right. I mean, that's the whole concept of what we're involved in. Is that we're weak. We're in fragile bodies that really are just sacks of flesh, get torn apart. Right. So the fact that we're coming out here, in the chief concourse places, and then eventually we're going to be led through certain situations where people are going to look at us. Even we're going to witness to ourselves like, yo, this is not of us. We know that. The only way we're able to make out of this situation and out of that situation is because of the power that's working within the elect.
The light.
That's right. That's that light. Yep.
We are pressed on every side by troubles, but we are not crushed. We are perplexed, but we are not driven to despair. And the definition of despair goes into being without hope.
Look at that.
So we're perplexed, but not driven to despair. We are hunted down, but never abandoned by Yahweh. We get knocked down, but we are not destroyed. Through suffering, our bodies continue to share in the death of Yahweh Shai, so that the life of Yahweh Shai may also be seen in our bodies.
Those are beautiful precepts, man. Beautiful precepts.
Yeah, I got a quick precept on that because in regards to that, I'm just going to quickly read Daniel's prayer because I'm there. 9 and 4, but I'll start at the 3rd verse. This is Daniel chapter 9, right? And it says, "And I set my face unto the Lord thy power, Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushai, to seek by prayer and supplications with fasting and with sackcloth and ashes." Verse 4, here's the point. "And I prayed unto Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushai, our power, and made my confession," right? "And said, O Lord, great and dreadful, good power, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him, and to them that keep his commandments." Now, I'm reading that for the very fact that this proves what you were just saying there, man. We don't come in here on our own strength. Not for a minute. Hey, once you start to say, this is what I see and this is what it is, you're done. You're finished. It's because of his great mercies. That's what the prophet was saying. Right? And look, we know what happened to that prophet at the end, right? He had to go in the fiery furnace. He was put in the fiery furnace, right? And delivered from the fiery furnace. And that's coming up right now in this system. But that should be our prayer, and it is our prayer, the elect's prayer. Okay? But I just want to bring that out. His great mercy, his loving kindness and great mercy, right? So he's doing a work, and he's actually doing everything, man. That's the point. That's it.
1 John 4 and 3. Okay. And this, I'll just start at 3 again. "And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh is not of God, and this is that spirit of Antichrist," or anti-type. whereof ye have heard that it should come. And even now already it is in the world.
Yeah, so when you look at, these beast-like Israelites, and the way they're performing or moving and conducting, now you have to expand and elevate your mind to a spiritual mindset. Like a lot of these Israelites and these false teachers that are saying whatever they want, whatever comes to their mind, and they're slandering the Lord's name, the Son's name, and the doctrine. These guys have real demons in them, spirits in them, that are put in them to fulfill prophecy. A lot of them are just fulfilling their role, their lot that they're coming back in. And that kind of thing is going to be intensified as we get closer and closer to that hour of temptation. There's going to be all kinds of different spirits that the Most High is going to let loose, and they're going to jump on all kinds of different people, animals, and you're going to see all kinds of bugged out stuff. So a very important aspect in this ministry is to apply a spiritual mindset. And the only way you can really do that is by thinking about the will of the Most High and not your will. Because once you start thinking about the will of the Most High in your scenario or in whatever scenario you're in, now you're being spiritually minded. See, and we're going to need that in Jacob's trouble, man. You get carnal minded in Jacob's trouble, yes, that can mean death, but not just death, but a horrifying, with excruciating pain kind of death. It's one thing to die quickly, it's another thing to die slowly.
Hey, you guys know the term real quick, the term that was made there, Antichrist?
Yes.
If we're gone into the word Antichrist,
Yes.
anti. What is the anti?
Well, they're against Yahushua. Anything that's not for Yahushua is anti-Yahushua. The entire West, the entire elites, they're antichrist because they worship Satan.
Right. Beautiful. Simply put, instead of. If you remember the word instead of, right? And the instead of comes before the truth comes, right? Or, excuse me, the world is saturated with that kind of stuff, right? So there's a statement, in the time of universal deceit, and that's what this whole system is all about, instead of, or anti, right? But it's the whole world, right? For you folks, it's the whole world. But I just wanted to get that word out real quick, instead of. Just remembering it that way, it's the same thing as anti, instead of.
Yep.
Right? It means they put themselves in the world.
Yeah. Literally instead of.
Instead of the type. Where there's no type, there's no truth. And who's the type? Was read earlier. He's the way, the truth, and the life.
Yep.
Right? The one who we follow, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai for you dummies out there. Right? Because you're going to blow up the stage question.
So Wisdom Solomon 17 regarding demons going into them and stuff, strange apparitions. So Wisdom of Solomon 17 in the GNT. O Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yoshai, your acts of judgment are marvelous and hard to explain. That is why people who had not been taught about them went astray.
Right, and that's why we got rebels among Israel. Right, because you have false teachers. They're not teaching Israel the full truth. You're coming up and making up things and adding it to the doctrine, taking away from the doctrine, right? And so that's why you have, what does it say again? Do that again?
O Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yoshai, your acts of judgment are marvelous and hard to explain. That is why people who had not been taught about them went astray.
Yeah, so again, the rebels astray. So there's a lot of blood on the hands of these false teachers. And the Lord's going to, sift out the elect out of that. And they're going to come to the true teachers. Because everybody needs to be taught. All right, all you Negroes out there, you have so much pride in your mind. When you look at men, right, and especially when it's of your own people, and you get all prideful because you have to learn under that man. You'll spend 12 years of your goddamn life going to learn this devil's Babylonian system and not say a thing about it. Every man needs to be taught.
It also says that they don't understand the judgment of Yahweh Shemir Shai.
Hard to understand.
Hard to understand. So when it says judgment is not executed speedily, so they expect that the judge, whatever they do, they're going to get judged right away. They don't know that judgment is going to come.
That's right.
In many different forms.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why they continue to do wickedness, because
Right.
they're not getting judged right away.
That's right. Yep. That's right.
They're on
that,
trial.
or they're on
They
trial.
don't understand the
Ah,
use of
yeah,
trial.
is that? That's,
I remember when I went to court for theft, for $5,000. Like, I didn't understand the whole fucking process. I was scared out of my fucking mind. Right? I had to go spend, 4 hours in jail. And when I went to the court, I didn't know how to get a lawyer. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know anything. So this Jake came up to me and he gave me his card, and then I had to go to legal. So I'm like, I can't afford it, right? Because I'm like, oh, they're gonna fuck me up. Like, I came to court, I showed up 2-3 times, and they're like, oh, where's your lawyer? I'm like, well, I don't got one. And most I just told this guy named Paul to come there and give me the card. And the guy gave me the card. Then I know he knows someone I know from where I used to grow up.
And that's a good point that said that they're on trial. And you know, like a lot of like court cases can go on for years.
Yeah.
And that person's still living their everyday life, you know, to your point, living their everyday life, but court is still in session for like that 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah, look at the O.J. Simpson trial. I was going on like 2+ years.
Yeah.
About, right?
Yeah, but like almost 3 years. Yeah.
and our trial has been going on since the Lord woke you up and bring you into the truth. And it's still on. And we know we have a defender. As you just gave that quick testimony, I know the Lord sent that man, right? But Yahushua is our ultimate lawyer.
You said.
See, if our people seen how Yahushua was, his trial was, it wasn't fair. They released Barnabas.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, he's guilty.
Yep.
Let his blood be upon our children.
Barnabas the vampire.
He was judged immediately, man. He was judged immediately. They beat him or whatever. They had him in imprisonment for a serious crime, and then they judged him immediately.
The outside trial was going on from before that because remember he's paying for the sins of Adam too.
Yeah,
Solomon.
yeah. That's a good
This trial
example.
started from
Spiritually,
then.
yes.
Yeah, but judgment came at that time. What you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing with us. Our trial's been going on from them times.
Yep.
You know, but
Yeah.
when our lawyer came into play, which was only our side club, that's when our lawyer came into play. He's our lawyer.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, because the sentence in the courtroom was like, you're guilty. And we had no lawyer. You're guilty. Now, if we say Yahushua comes, we still get the sentence, we're guilty, but then we have Yahushua pleading for our case. Well, yes, he's guilty, but he confesses my name, he confesses the Father's name, da-da-da-da-da.
As the brother just brought out, beautiful, that's why that came out, right? They treated him what?
Unfairly, unjustly.
I got one thing to say.
They
Remember,
chose a real nigger, criminal-minded nigger, and let him go.
Yeah.
And then for him, even though that he was spiritually guilty of what happened in the past,
Yeah.
he was put out. His trial was just everything just went too fast. Beautiful, right?
wow. Remember, we never had access to the judge. We couldn't talk to the judge.
Yep.
That days were cut off. Once we started going into wickedness, our access to the judge was cut off.
And what did we have?
The only-
Before you go on and explain yourself, you got to explain what we had.
What we
You
had.
said, you said we had no access, but you need to explain that.
Well, we had
Take your
access.
time.
We had access to Yahweh Bashimi outside in the garden before we started, doing wickedness. And then we started doing wickedness. And then once wickedness started, then we get chopped off, cut off from the
Okay,
Most High. So we pretty much became dead. The vine was cut off. Yeah, from the root. So we became dead. So now when Yahushua came, we became alive again. Right? So Yahushua is the lawyer who is now has access to speak to the judge for us.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's when salvation came.
Okay,
For
beautiful.
elect.
You said a lot of stuff there. You went fast because I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you. Right? You
Got
said,
it,
you're right what you said, but you missed one thing. I was trying to get out of you. Well, what did they have?
Yeah.
What did they have? But you know the answer because the law was there.
Okay.
Right? The law was there, the perfect law, the divine law, right? And it was a transcript of the one who was to come. Our power, right? Because the Father sent him, but we didn't have access to the actual Father because it tells us what happened. So what I'm saying is the law was there as a witness. That's what I'm trying to say, right? And those who had the Spirit by faith, and we have a list of our fathers when they went off and when they were righteous, as the Spirit would lead them, right? We have Abraham, we have Noah, right? So the Spirit was working with those men, right? I'm just saying, right? I just wanted, you said everything right. I just wanted you to identify the witness, which is the law, and the Spirit that was working with those men, because it says what they acted on what? Come on.
Faith.
On what? The evolution, the faith.
Think,
Something.
yep. Hope, the things that are hoped for, that are
That's
unseen,
right. That's right.
right? Which is faith.
That's right.
Right? It's a boost. It's a kickstart or a booster, right?
Beautiful.
Right? It's I have other names for it too. Not to be going off, or anything, but it's afterburner.
Yeah. Well, no. Simply put,
Right?
if you, yeah. Simply put, for you folks on there,
It's like it's the faith is spiritual testosterone.
That's right. That's right. And it's the
Women don't
evidence-
have that.
the evidence of what? Come on, things.
Not a
don't-
lot of women have it.
No, they don't have
Well,
it.
you know, the small side puts it on that woman, like Judith and Deborah, right? But that was because of the man that they were with.
That's right.
It's true. Whether
He
you
showed
don't-
those men that Most High put them with, showed them.
What faith is about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They learned it.
Yeah, yeah. The
That's something
evidence.
to back you up.
Yeah, bring it up.
Because
The evidence.
that was something I was thinking about when you were asking the question too, is the covenant. The Ark of the Covenant. Right, so, and you're right, like everything was fulfilled to push towards Yahweh Shai. So this is Luke chapter 24, verse 44. And he said unto them, these are the words which I speak unto you while I was yet with you. All things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses, and in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me.
That's right, as a witness, right? And it says by faith, those men followed. So what was leading them? Yes, it. Really, we know that, right? Based on how the Spirit told them to walk this way. Hey, pack up and go, get out of the Ur of Chaldees and go there. Go to the land of Arum.
But we know the Spirit was leading them because Elijah was prepared to leave. You know, Elijah was preparing to leave, so he knew he was going to leave.
Oh, when he got beamed up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right there, you have one.
Yeah, this is where these Israelite or only Christians, excuse me, I call it Christians, they just stop. Well, it's the Lord who stopped them. They don't want to move on and give Yahushua the credit that he was always present in the form of an angel. He was there as Adam. You don't want to give him the credit, but he's going to take the credit, it says in Psalms 2.
Yeah. So, take the kingdom.
That's right.
And
And
you know what?
everything, and it says, we always go to Hebrews and Psalms 40 and 7, and then Hebrews 10 and 7, right? It talks about the Lord is in the volume of the whole book, right? He's the root of Jesse. It says in Isaiah.
That's a deep saying, that's a dark saying.
Yeah.
The root of Jesse.
Yeah.
He's saying he's his father's father.
Get that.
And it's hard. It's hard to, you know. I remember when I used to think I never got, because I never could see when the elders. I remember the elders did thing, they would go into it, but I guess I was getting distracted when I was at home, or whatever.
How are you going to be from the root of Jesse if your mom never had sex?
There you go.
Yeah?
There you go.
Where the root came from.
There you go. And that's why I show you these Christians, they don't read, because, and if they read, it goes over their heads because the Holy Spirit's not dealing with them.
Beautiful
Right?
point.
Yeah, 'cause it's not a carnal book.
Yeah. Yahweh Shai said, if he was never there in the beginning, why would he call himself Alpha and Omega? Alpha and Omega literally means beginning and end.
Yeah.
It starts with me and ends with me. So if he was never there, why would he tell the apostles, as I just read, which were later called apostles but disciples at that time, and he told them that the law, the prophets, and the Psalms all spoke of me? How can they speak of him if he was never there? That means you're calling Yahweh Shai a liar. You see, that you can't just, like you just said, you can't just open the book and read it. Now, we can tell you that to a blue to our face, but a lot of you out there are actually sanctioned to do that kind of stupid stuff. To read a spiritual book while being carnal-minded and then to go ahead and teach it. And that's why we give all praise to Yahweh Shai. We're on this side. The right, you brothers too, we're on the right-hand side.
Well, that's why it says in Revelation about how the Lord's going to sup with you.
Right.
So that's where that it becomes spiritual.
Yeah.
Because he's looking at you, the angels reporting back, oh, this one, he thinks he knows.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's Yahweh Shai who knocks on your door,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
Ezra had that.
Yes.
Where the angel had to keep rebuking him, like, yo, don't try to hate me before the Most High. You think you love Israel more than the Most High? Even Job had to get it too. And the Most High he came out, he said, who is this, roughly paraphrasing, who is this, who is this that is annoying me with his words? Roughly paraphrasing, he didn't say exactly like that, but you get it, it's Job 38. Somebody get that real quick.
Yeah,
38 and 7, real quick.
Job 38:7.
38 and 7, I'm pretty sure. And the reason why I'm bringing this out is because, especially, listen, you women, yes, you have to women up, you know, but especially you men that are newer believers and young in this truth, we all have to man up. The Most High is going to come to you that way. Sometimes it might come by the way of a brother rebuke you in a rough way. You know? Go ahead, Al.
It says here, Job 38 and verse 7. As the morning stars sang together.
Oh, no, start at 1.
Start at
Now
one?
Most High is giving himself clout.
Yeah. This is Job 38 and verse 1. Then the Lord Yahweh answered Job from the whirlwind.
Which is a
No,
chariot.
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And it says, who is this that questions my wisdom
See? Go ahead. Yeah.
with such ignorant words?
You see? So Job got a little bit of a tongue lashing too. You know, who is this that questions my wisdom with ignorant words? He was sincerely ignorant, but he was ignorant. Right? Go ahead.
It says, brace yourself like a man,
Shoot.
because I have some questions for you,
Exactly.
and you must answer them. Where were you when I had laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me, if you know so much. Who determined its dimensions and stretched out the surveying line? What supports its foundation and who laid its cornerstone? Sorry, let me read that again. What supports its foundations and who laid its cornerstones? Continue.
Yeah. No, that's the point, man.
That's it, okay.
Yeah, that's the point. I was just saying something, you know, to the elder about, and this is not doctrine or anything. I'm just, you know, as a man, the way Job was, you know, complaining. I don't even like to say complaining, but that's really what it was. We all do it. He was complaining, and the Most High kind of told him, man up. It reminds me of Ezra. If you read the book of Ezra, Ezra had a lot of questions. He had a lot of emotions. He was complaining too. So I was just thinking, you know, you never know. You know, Ezra could be Job. Job could be Ezra. They had that same similar spirit. And the angel had to keep rebuking them both. Like, yo, man up. Da, 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 da. This is not how it is.
Heavy poetry in it, too.
Yeah, a lot of poetry.
Yeah, and beautiful point.
But the main,
Philosophy is deep in there, man.
yeah,
Right? The love of wisdom,
yeah,
right? It's all up in there.
yeah,
Yeah, the rebuke was an encouragement.
exactly.
That's what it's going into, because the instruction that was given was showing that whatever happens, don't let that spirit come upon you. That's what the rebuke was about. So the rebuke that they were receiving, that we also receive, is to encourage us, right? Get off of that path, right? Hey, it's okay to complain. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about that scripture. It's okay to complain, but don't be, how would you say, get in your feelings, get trapped in your feelings. It's dangerous. In your feelings.
Just a demon, you got shit.
Yeah. Spiritual battle.
Because you know what the truth is? At the end of the day, the reality is, any one of us, we have families, some of us have children. We can walk back home, come back home to our family's dead. And you're
Yeah, it
gonna-
happened with Job.
Exactly. And you're gonna mourn. Now, at the end of all of that, you still have to teach the word. You still have to come and teach the scriptures. You still have to come up with lessons and teach the flock. That's the reality of this ministry, man. So you're gonna be driven to madness at times, if not a lot of the times, right? But you know, the water Yahweh for Yahweh Shai, right? And the Ruach HaKodesh, you get that comfort, that reminder of your forefathers going through the same thing. That's why you guys gotta read these stories, man. gotta read these stories. You gotta make time to read these stories because they come to your mind. The Holy Spirit brings them to your mind when you're in the same situation. Some of us are those forefathers come back. You know. So yeah, it's very important. The reality is we're gonna lose. It's not gonna be fair. But at the end of it all, we get the victory. You know.
And at the same time, you can relate with those men.
Exactly.
With those trials and tribulations. Esau can. The fuck is he?
Yeah.
The fuck's that guy? Right?
Hey,
Esau
look at
cannot relate with the people in the holy book.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even a small hat can.
Look at David. David and his men. He got usurped of his whole kingdom. Him, his men, and about 400 men followed David. They were sleeping in the woods, sleeping in caves. Literally from riches to rags, right? To the point where the man was starving, and he had to go, and he went to the priest, like, you got any bread? And the priest like, I don't got no bread but the show bread here. He said, well, give me some of that. he's like, give me some of that. And you know, according to the law, if you eat the show bread, you be put to death. So that just showed the Most High
It
was
was
with
only
him.
for holy men.
Right.
The holy men of Aaron.
Yeah, exactly. The priest.
That divine line.
But that showed you spiritually.
The high
that
priest line. Right?
That shows you spiritually that the
Well, actually, no,
priesthood-
the priesthood line.
Yeah.
Not the high priest.
But that
Well, it
showed-
was just
yeah.
at that time, it was the high priest. Well, Yahushua switched that. He took over that.
That's the spirit I was gonna say, because that showed you that in the spirit that the high priest really came out of Judah. Starts with Judah in the spirit. Long, you know? And he even told his men, like the priest was like, you know, have your men slept with any woman? The guy was like, yo, my men don't even sleep with women when they're coming to war with me. They're good. Give me some of that bread.
Sorry, you said that.
But he was starving.
You said the high priest originally came out of Judah.
No, in the spirit. It came out of
Yeah,
Aaron.
because it says that in Jeremiah. It says about we came out of the waters of Judah.
What'd you say?
We came out of the waters of Judah.
Yeah.
Should be about I think Jeremiah 48 or something like that. Around there.
Right?
Came out
Numbers
of the waters
24.
of Judah.
Also Numbers 24 and 17. But going to what you're saying here, because I was just on that line,
Yeah.
right? Because we saw what was broken down was the order, right, in regards to that. But spiritually, that's what it's pointing to. Because, hey, who was that took the showbread? Come on.
Except King David, no?
Right. Was he a righteous man or an unrighteous man?
He was righteous.
Oh, okay. Was he the Lord's man?
Yeah.
Right? So that's what was just broken down.
Until he,
Right? Hey, get the precept. Somebody get Numbers 24 and 17 and hold it.
until he messed up.
Yeah. Well, he was always a Lord.
No, he was always the Lord's man. That's the
But
point.
yeah, it's just like when you're pissed off at a good friend.
Yeah.
He's fucked up, man. Can't talk to you for a week. You know, whatever. But what I was saying is that, you know, a good way to just like internalize that, because that was kind of neat. Who's the high priest right now?
That was high.
All right, and Yahushua sprang in the tribe of Judah.
Right? Is
So
he,
in the
is he a
spirit-
king?
That's right. Yeah, he's the king. So in the spirit, that's all good. So in the spirit, that just showed when David went to go do that, using the showbread, even though it's only supposed to be Aaron, the line of Aaron to do that, that just foreshadowed that the priesthood, the new priesthood will come out of Melchizedek, Yahushua, same person, who came out of the tribe of Judah. That's what I mean.
Beautiful point. And hey, and we can prove the type in many ways, you dummies. If you know who Melchizedek is in the Bible, you dummies call him Melchizedek. It's wrong to say that, but it's okay. Right? He was a king. Right? So that was a prototype. And we can even go further back, dummies. You know, hey, they know all of this stuff. That's why I keep calling it.
Numbers 24.
24 and 17.
Yeah.
Sprang out of Judah. Right? The star. I think it's 24, 16 and 17.
Yeah.
Sprang out of- Foreshadowing. Right?
This is Numbers chapter 24, verse 16. He has said, which heard the words of Yahweh and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty falling into a trance, but having his eyes opened. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob.
So he had a vision, seeing Israel in the rulership. right? I was given, but it was already preordained. But this is just to confirm it, right? Because now it's written. It is written, right?
Yeah, basically saw Yahushua be born. It says, I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel. That's the elect. It starts with the elect. The
Right.
scepter represents what? Rulership. And it says, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth, and Edom
Yeah,
shall be.
perfect scripture to go hand with that is
Isaiah 3:1.
well, there's one in 11. There's one in Isaiah 11.
That's right.
You read on down when it talks about where Jacob's gonna be scattered, and it talks about we're gonna fly on the shoulders of the Philistines. You'd be like, what the fuck? The nigga flying on? Stop flying
dreaming
on
those dreams.
They look
Flying.
like one of the Shaw Brothers movies, right?
They're telling you, the demon is telling you, stop having those dreams. We don't believe in dreams. Fuck you, demon. The Lord gave us those dreams.
And it says,
Most side, oh man, the where he puts this, like, oh man, it's overwhelming, man.
That's right. That's right. That's
Man,
one of the first
the
precepts
hair
I
stand
learned.
on ends on your back, man. I was standing pointing from listening to this stuff, man. Damn.
I brought that precept up real quick because that's one of the first precepts you learn. Right? When I came in the truth.
Everybody wants to
Right?
get that one, they can get it.
Yeah. And then we go into it.
But you know what?
Because it's loaded, numbers. Right? It's loaded. I was saying that's the first, no, that was
Numbers, what is it?
11, and then
Isaiah 11:11 down there.
I'll finish this up.
Yeah.
It says Numbers 24 and 18. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession
Mm-hmm.
for his enemies, and Israel shall do violently.
yeah, valiantly, which
Valiant.
means being brave, man. Being real brave. Because Jake is brave, man, especially Ephraim.
Yep. I gotta read this
Ephraim
last
is
one.
very brave, man. They don't, they're not easy to,
Reuben too.
they're not easy to back down. Yeah, Reuben's
crazy.
yeah.
It was
Reuben
Reuben
and Gad.
and who else that took out those Hamites? Reuben and what brother that took out those Hamites? For Diana. their
Oh no,
sister
it was
Diana?
sorry, Salaki, it was Simeon and Levi.
Simeon and Levi.
Yeah, brother did a thing on that about how their custom about the cutlass, but it's the fencing. They're the ones who started that. It was it was a Jake thing. So we all started that, but they're the main two that started that fighting technique.
Oh, absolutely.
Might as well get their hands chopped off and still start cutting. I
Well,
see
look
the
at those,
documentary.
look at them fucking
The
Simeonites.
machete.
Yeah.
I seen fights on World Star where they're using the machete and going king. It's like
Brother, remember the
that's a
one-
custom, eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a
Oh, yeah.
custom.
No, they're masters.
Remember that Simeonite? Those two Simeonites that had the machete fight?
Yeah.
The one guy got his hand and his head slashed. He went to go pick up his hand.
Yeah.
Still talking shit and shit's coming out of his hand.
Yeah.
The Simeonites are crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Crazy.
spirit on them to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll finish this up. It says, verse 19, out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth in the city.
So that's rulership,
Uh-oh.
man. So man's is gonna get got, just like when we took down when Joshua took down those Canaanites, 7 mighty Canaanites, sons of Canaan. So it was different Girgashites.
Different houses.
Yeah.
Different nation, yeah.
And then stood on the neck. Everybody had to stand on the neck of the king
That's right.
before they chopped his head, put him to death.
That's right.
Beautiful.
Beautiful point, brother. We rehearsed it, and we're in the final rehearsement of this prophecy. We rehearsed it before, but it was going through, and this is the final things of it right now.
When Yahushua comes, he's gonna
Yeah.
do the same
Yeah.
thing,
Same thing.
right? Buying up kings, man.
That's right.
He's showing us how to get it done again, man. Because we went on.
That's right.
Last verse. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up this parable.
Right. And who's Amalek? I don't want you to say the J.
Don't
You can
say
say
the word.
you can say the J.
JWOs.
Yeah. Right.
The little
Small
cat.
hats.
Right. The small hats. Right. Or the counterfeit. Mr. Counterfeit.
No
Monsters.
Yeah.
Benjamin, not you.
Robbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Benjamin, not you. like that one.
And when he looked on Amalek, he took up this parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
right.
So how, Slacker, how is
Bring
Nate,
it out, brother.
those of you at IUIC, read this precept to Nate. Ask him, how is it that these Edomites going to come back in the kingdom when the Lord said forever?
And to seal the deal to matrimony with that is to go into Obadiah. Right?
But I want.
That's to seal the deal right there. That's the icing on the cake, man. Right?
Heavy book, one chapter.
When it talks about Judah for a flame, and then Ephraim for Israel for what was it? Not Ember. Oh, you got it? Oh.
I knew you were going to answer that question, Nate, right? You'll go to something else.
Oh, yeah.
You can't answer it, because if you did, you could.
Oh, but yeah, you're right.
Nate is a professional dodgeball player.
You're right.
Obadiah chapter 1 and 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble.
Right, so the Most High is going to put the righteous anger in Israel again, man.
Yo, if we're of that number,
Indignation. Yeah.
that's going to be beautiful, because if we're of that number, it says Jacob, the house of Jacob should be a flame, and Esau, and Ephraim,
Israel. Yeah.
and Ephraim as well, right? Ephraim shall be, and Jacob, the house of Jacob shall be a flame, and Joseph shall be a fire. The other way around. Jacob a fire, and Ephraim a flame.
Yeah.
And Esau is going to be stubble, so stubble keeps the fire going. So what does that mean? That means the elect, starting with 144,000, when we come back down here, Yahweh Rosh said we're of that number, we're going to have spiritual powers and we're going to have fun with it. Because these devils, the Most High has put the spirit on these devils to create like out of this world type of artillery, machinery, bots, fighter jets. They're trying to keep our flame going. And on top of that, I think you said it, or you said it, that the Most High is going to put his anger in us.
Yeah, so the righteous anger.
On top of whatever. Now think about it. We're going to know all our past lives, so you're going to have anger from that. All that. And then the Most High is going to top it off with his on top of that. So we're going to get busy. We're going to get busy. It's not going to be, it's going to be a one and done, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing to think about.
So Moses is going to put that fire in it.
Yeah.
Because each of the tribes gone through their own type of atrocities to a certain degree, right? And we all say serve slavery, right? But certain tribes like had it more than the other to a certain degree, right? Like Ephraim, they got sterilized, right? Back in early during World War I and shit. And Esau brought them over here because Esau knew that they breeded a lot, so he sterilized them and fucked up the numbers. And then brought them over here, brought them in Harlem. For a lot of brothers that think that, oh, it's just Judah up there. Nah, man, you don't even know who's who. I had to do research, man. What was it, Harlem Hellfighters that went to World War I, most of them was Ephraim, man. Was over there killing off them Germans, right? During World War I and shit.
And coming back to your own country,
Yeah.
get killed by the same people who
Yeah, they were being disregarded, and they got some of them got medals from the France, because American, they went to war. America sent Ephraimites to war with no guns. They said, "Oh no, you're going to war, but you're not owning no gun." It was a Frenchman over there, France that actually gave them guns and then gave them medals for their duty of service. America never gave them nothing. It was like, oh, fuck you, nigga. And they came home and they got disrespected. And they had no employment after when they served the country.
Even to this day.
Yep. And to finish it up, and it says, Jacob for a fire, and the house of Joseph for a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And this is actually goes into basically us rounding up Esau and burning them all up, right? Because we're gonna set up a fire, and these Edomites are gonna be stubble for that fire to keep going, and they're gonna burn up.
A real cookout.
Yeah, Edomite cookout. Edomite cookout. Yeah, that's right. And it says, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh has spoken it.
So just like he made one vessel unto honor, another vessel unto dishonor, one is going to be immortal forever, and the other one is going to be done with forever.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
right and left.
Yeah, that's right.
But they gotta pay for what they did first, which is they're gonna have to repay all the atrocities that they did are done for the Israelites back then. So they're gonna have to go through slavery.
For 1,000 years.
Yeah, like hardcore slavery.
Yeah.
They're gonna get it there, and then after that, then they're gonna be destroyed.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like
Yeah.
that stubble.
Yeah, exactly.
The great reset.
We
Righteous
can't wait for the good
reset.
reset. Yeah, like we can't wait for that.
Get the foot up your ass sideways. I remember the apostle used that term. It was saying, hey, Esau,
Yeah.
you're in trouble, so you
Oh,
better
that's a good
go max out all your credit cards and do what you got to do.
I'm up. He
Fulfill
said,
prophecy.
our Renaissance.
Yeah.
Our rebirth.
Yeah. Our time.
Yeah, man. Somebody got Wisdom of Solomon 3? You know,
I got it.
Okay,
I
start
got
at one.
Start one?
yeah.
It says here, but the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know if brothers tuned in, but the brother from his handle goes by Jersey Saints 2. So I'm assuming he's in Jersey, New York, Jersey. But he had a heavy dream that Apostle Gabar did a lesson on. I think a couple other brothers did. And Elder Yeshawama did a lesson. He had a dream too that corresponded, I think, with his dream. But the dream was heavy. And basically, just to sum up the dream, he had a dream that it was him and his kids. He has 4 kids, but it was just 2 of them in the dream and his wife. And they were basically being fed by a guy in a UPS truck. Right? And so, you know, basically, you know, the guy, and he just kept seeing chaos in his dream. He kept seeing people fight each other over trivial things, and it just got worse and worse and worse. Then he met up with the guy that was in the UPS truck, and he had a sandwich. It was a heavy dream, so the guys told him, hold this sandwich, and the sandwich was warm as they're walking to the UPS truck, and there's people like fighting and destroying each other on each side, and they're just having a conversation. And the angel told them, it was an angel, and it told them, don't, like, this is my sandwich, yours is in the truck. And the brother was going down and breaking down the dream. The UPS truck, that's ups, right? And how are we gonna get out of here? We're gonna get beamed up, you see? And the fact that the angel kept telling him not to eat the sandwich, right? Your sandwich is in the truck. And it was a long walk to the truck. What that spoke to him is that man should not live by bread alone, but by the words that proceeded out of this book. Because any other Negro with a hot sandwich in those days is gonna rip the tinfoil open and just, you see what I'm saying? But we're gonna be in situations where it looks like there's no way out, and we're gonna see miraculous things happen for us. You know, like, what is the odds that the man had a dream of an angel in a UPS truck? UPS just means ups. And that was the whole breakdown of the basically, you gotta watch Apostle Hara and Apostle Kabar go into it. But that's how we're gonna get up out of here. It's gonna go up. And then the angel kept telling him, he's like, the angel's face turned into Al Yashwamba's face. And the guy's like, oh, okay. And he's like, listen, man, we know that all you brothers are going through it. You know that he named a certain brother in his camp. He's like, I know this brother's ill, he's sick, he's going through it. I know you're sick. Al Yashwamba is going through it. And he's like, tell all the brothers that believe, hold on. We're about to get up out of here. Just to hold on. That's a heavy dream. Heavy dream. Because you know what? Truly, if you're in tune in the spirit, every brother's going through something. You can kind of feel it. And it's intensified from like 2020 to now. It's intensified. Brothers are going through all kinds of health deficiencies and whatnot. But continue on.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 3 and verse 2. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. And they're going from us, to be utter destruction. But they are in peace, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality.
Now, you know how special it is to understand what death truly is? Before we came in this truth, none of us knew what death really was. We just knew you die. Some of us believe you go to hell, some of us believe you go to heaven. Right? We didn't really actually know what death was. In this truth now, we know death is just a transition. Your body stays here, your spirit goes up. Right? That's a serious mentality, because the scripture is telling you that everybody else doesn't think like that.
I have a question.
Con, hold on one second. Everybody else thinks when you die that who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You might go to hell, you might do that. No one knows, no one really understands what happens when you die, unless the top wicked elite. But even them, I don't think they really understand. Because they don't want to die, but it's because they know they're going to come back in slavery. That's really what it is. So they do know, but no one really understands that. So a lot of these Israelites, and you newer believers, it starts with us first too, you have to meditate on death here a little bit. You know, there in and there out. Because if you get tripped up over death, you're like into one of these guys who you basically lose faith because you're coming up to the chopping block. When death is just a transition, the Most High has the power for you not to feel death even though it comes upon you. Look at those three Daniel's boys. They were in a furnace and not one hair was singed. Obviously they didn't feel the fire. So those are the kind of things we have to think about, because that's how serious our scenarios are going to get. You got a question?
Yeah. So you mentioned this it came to me yesterday, but I wanted to wait till today to ask the question, and you just brought it up just now.
Okay.
So it said that the body stays here, and the spirit goes back to the Most High. In the end, it says the dead in the Mashiach is going to raise first. Now, those spirits, same spirits, is it going to come back down to that same grave?
Yep.
And then
It's going to
get the new body and go up?
Well, they're going to get their old bodies that they died in,
Yeah.
and then they get beamed up and get those new bodies.
But they're gonna meet us in the chariot.
Yeah.
We're all gonna meet in the chariot.
Because they're not coming in the chariot. They're in the spiritual realm.
Okay.
Yeah, so when Yahushua comes to the fathership, those that have died are not in the ship with him. They're in the spiritual realm. So they're going to have to come back down, get in those bodies, and then they're going to have to get beamed up. So that's going to happen first.
Okay.
Which is going to be
Yeah,
crazy.
it makes sense because when Yahushua died, those spirits rose up from the dead.
Their first
Right?
fruits of all
They didn't
living.
go with him when he died.
Right,
He made them live again.
Right.
Yeah,
He
that's the
made them
type.
actually live in the flesh again.
That's the type.
Right?
That's the type. That's the type of what's going to transition spiritually, what the Lord's going to do. Hey, read it in the book of Matthew, around the 26th,
That was
27th
it.
chapter.
Just wanted to get clarification.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense?
Yeah.
But no, bring
Continue.
on.
Yeah, he's going to read the whole chapter. So
Brothers get that, right?
Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
bring something
makes
out on
sense.
the sleep before you go there, right? Because
Just to confirm it.
yeah,
No, just because I don't want to lose them in the transition. Because sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes you gotta ask in, and then just to confirm. Yeah. Because remember, it's all right to do that, right? Because who was it that? No, Abraham.
Abraham.
When he was looking on behalf
Abraham,
of
yes.
Lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. he kept on bugging the Most
Yeah,
High.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
He went from 100 to 10. If you find 100 righteous, you just save this. If you find 850 righteous, he went all the way down.
yeah, you gotta be like a little kid. I remember when my daughters, when they were little, they used to bug me and be like, "What's this?
Yeah.
What's that?" I know your son's gonna do the same
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
to you soon,
Con,
man.
con,
When he gets that time,
con.
he'll be like, he's just gonna.
Yeah. Yeah.
This, what's that?
Yeah.
What? So, he's gonna, but he's gonna. I don't know. They just have the Most High just puts a spirit on them to do that.
Innocent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Point, yeah. I just want to quickly speak on the death thing because it's important. Because the elect rehearse, we rehearse that, we rehearse it daily, spiritually and literally. And this is the book of Job. I'll read it before you go there, right? Just on the point, because it says here, this is Job 4:13. I won't, all right? I'll just start from that point. It's the whole book. He was going into it. He says, thoughts from the visions of the night when deep sleep falls upon men, right? And that's going into the election, okay? Right? It is a principle that goes right across the board, but because these dead people here, they're not following the Lord. The Lord's not dealing with them, but this is talking really about the elect and how the Lord is working with them. He says, look,
Yeah. In terms of salvation.
in terms of salvation, right? But the principle stands. It says, in thoughts are from the visions of the night when deep sleep falleth upon men. So what happens? Hey, who visits you when you're in a deep sleep? Wait, who put you to sleep? You put yourself to sleep? Right? So yeah, so it goes on to say this. Verse 14, fear came upon me and trembling, which made all my bones to shake. Right? The point is in this 16th verse. It says, then a spirit passed before me, before my face. The hair of my flesh stood up. Okay? So he's in dream. He's in dream. That's the point. So when you go to sleep, when the Lord puts you to sleep and wake you up, you're rehearsing the righteous acts with him. Right? That's not, you get all kinds of situations. But I just wanted to make a simple point on the term of death. Right? And you want to do it a little bit more in regards to understanding what death is. Right? And you gave Yahushua's example. You talked about those things. That's the perfect example. But we're rehearsing it always. Okay? And then when we go spiritually, dying daily in this truth, man.
Let me ask you, brother.
Okay? But anyway, that's the point. No, that's the point.
I want to ask you. Do you understand what the elder just said? Like, do you understand it? What he meant by you reverse this daily? So that was your main point.
Yeah, that was the main point.
That's it. There's a very he just took meat and simplified it to the simplest A, B, C. Do you guys understand what he meant by when he said you die daily? Outside of the sufferings.
Did you renew yourself daily?
No. Because you go to sleep. You literally go to sleep, and if the Most High doesn't want you to wake up, you won't wake up. You see what I'm saying? So he just took that and he simplified it right down to your own sleep. You rehearse, waking up out of the dead, literally.
Yeah, 'cause you have to, because everything is against you. Esau with his bugged out doctrine, putting spirits out here on people. He's fucking up everything, man. Even
Yeah.
the very sun you look at, like he has stuff trying to block the sun,
Yeah.
right? Fucking force it to rain, all this madness,
Yeah.
right? And then down to the very food that you eat, it's forcing the food not to do what it's supposed to do by putting in glyphosate, right? To kill you,
Yeah.
and then put black mold in certain stuff that is preserved. So, he does a different version of canning foods and stuff like that when you can do it basically yourself. If you knew how to do it. If you had a fucking, we don't have food dries here. Humidifier. No, slack.
Dehydrated?
Dehydrated, that's it, yes. Right?
Yeah, because when you die in real life, that's what I meant by getting into the understanding. Like Esau, tries to Hollywoodize the whole death thing, and they have you wake up and there's a big lineup and you're waiting for your number. And,
Yeah, like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, exactly. Some bullshit like that.
So that's what Beetlejuice is, that happens.
That's right. Yeah,
If
exactly.
you've watched the movie, I know it's like, oh, I shouldn't watch this. Fight, this is demons. But in it shows you.
Yep.
They died, and then they went to they had to have this
question?
card thing.
Yeah, what is
What are we doing?
Yeah.
We're just teaching the Bible. We're teaching the truth of the Bible concerning the Israelites.
What's the truth?
So these people here that are known as Negroes, yeah, this tribe, but they're known today as Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians. You can trace a lot of the prophetic story or the prophetic sayings or the prophetic the prophecies in the Bible to these people. And it's linking them as Israelites, the biblical nationality of Israel. Are you Christian? You
Jewish.
believe in the Bible? Okay, you're
So
Jewish.
it's not Israel. It's like,
Oh, interesting. So yeah.
Yeah, so the Bible simply speaks about these people.
yeah.
They're the real Jew. Not Jewish, they're the real Jew, but they're
From Israel.
really called Israel. This is our special word, but it's there in English so that you can understand what it is. They're the real people of the Bible. Of the Bible, you notice what I said? The Bible, okay?
The New Testament.
The
No,
Bible,
Old
Old Testament, Old and New.
Old and
Oh,
New.
then.
Yeah,
Because they fit the people on this sign fit the prophecies, right? They fit the prophecies of being tested by the Most High for going against His law, statutes, and commandments.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have you read the Old Testament?
Yeah.
Okay, so-
Not all of it, but
Okay,
most of
okay.
it.
Are you familiar with Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter? Where like Moses said, if you don't listen to us, listen to the Lord,
Yeah.
all these curses will fall upon you. Now in there, Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Can a brother get that real quick?
Got it.
Can you read that real quick?
Yep. Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Now you go into Egypt, the Hebrew word there is Mizraim.
Yeah.
And Mataraza, right? Which means it goes into bondage. So in the original text, it'd be saying that I'm going to send you into bondage again. Right? So go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, which is unto you, the house of Israel. Someone get Amos.
Amos 3 and 6, start at 1, hold it.
I'll read this again here. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Right?
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies
Right?
for bondman and bondwoman,
Right?
and no man shall buy you.
Yeah. Did you say yoke of iron in that verse?
No, I have to jump down. I think there's 48.
Okay, 40 is fine. So, yes, yeah, I'll leave it alone. So, some of these, so the ships, right? Now, I'm not going to get into the ships, slave ships. We all know about slave ships and stuff. But there's a specific point in there where it talks about we will have a yoke of iron around our neck. Now, when you go into secular history, and you don't even have to type in Israel or anything like that, you just type in yoke of iron on Google, and you'll see a bunch of so-called Negroes with a yoke of iron on their neck, literally fulfilling that prophecy.
Right.
So that's our faith. We believe.
Yeah, no, it's really.
That's what we believe.
And so the prophecy, and then it applies to all
of
each-
it.
Interesting.
Yeah, he even
Right.
talks about the North American Indians coming over here
Oh, that's NLT that says.
to try to seek out
Oh,
or to
that's
try to live out
sorry.
the laws,
Alright,
and then that
you
they would put
bring
into
it out.
slavery, and the
Yeah.
enemy would come here.
That's really
Yeah, yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so
Alright,
it's
thanks a lot.
NLT that says.
NLT?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Alright,
read that
appreciate
real
it.
quick.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem, no problem. It's okay, edification.
Okay, so this is Deuteronomy 28, verse 48. It said, "You will serve your enemies, whom the Lord will send against you. You will be left hungry, thirsty, naked, and lacking in everything. The Lord will put a yoke of iron on your neck, oppressing you harshly until He has destroyed you."
Nice. What verse was that?
28, 48.
And what does the King James say?
I'll read it.
Yeah.
It says, King James Version, Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. Oh, it does say yoke.
Okay, it says both. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
But that one is a lot more straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is for edification's sake, right?
Yeah, You gotta ask these people if they're Christians or not. Cause I didn't know. I kind of got the vibe that he was, counterfeit.
You read Amos 3 and 1 just for edification.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's clear, man.
You want to go to Amos 3 and 1? You had it? You still have it?
Yeah, and notice none of us we had to, tell Mr. Small Hat, oh, you got to bow down, this, and that. We don't need to do that.
Yeah.
That because the word is going to make every when Yahushua comes, every knee shall confess and bow, right? In the presence, going to have to. It's going to be overwhelming.
Yeah, and he just rehearsed
Man's
that.
going to be pissing themselves, man.
He just
In the
rehearsed
presence
that.
of the Lord.
And he just rehearsed that. That's why he had to run away, right? He's not interested in staying up here, but he got cut in the spirit.
So they have been indoctrinated from their youth. So they
Yeah.
believe that they are
Go on.
the true people.
Because remember, going back to King Bulan, right? It's indoctrination from King Bulan, right?
They're stuck.
They wanted to get themselves in, but it even goes even further than that. Because when was it? John thing in the Apocrypha, when he was bringing in our people was trying to bring Esau in,
Yeah.
like the 13th tribe. So this madness has been going on for a long while. That's why Herod got to do what he was doing.
Right? And they claim that 13th tribe, they claim they were Danites. They lie about everything.
Yeah.
What happened to Dan? So they lie about that too.
The entire world knows right now that they are not the true people, but they have to defend something. That's the reason why the government is defending them. There's nowhere in the scriptures it says that the government is going to defend the Israelites. Nowhere. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what they're doing,
Yeah.
everybody knows. So the Most High Himself is going to defend us, not the government. We don't have any protection. The only protection we have is from Yahweh himself. You wanted to get Amos 3 and 1?
Yeah.
Amos 3 and 1. Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yashai hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying.
So where's the other nations? I don't know. What's going on here? Can they be saved? So where are they? What were they doing at this point in time? What's going on? Why is this nation only being called, huh? Is that blasphemy? Huh?
Why did the Lord say He only knew Israel?
That's because he took them in. He adopted them. They became His people. He
How do
chose
we know
them.
that?
Huh?
There you go. That's a simple answer.
And who did Moses call unto? Right? When he was in the land of Egypt.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
So where was the other nations at?
Yeah.
Right? Where were they?
Plus the blood covenant, that kind of sealed the deal. We made a blood covenant.
Yeah.
Sprinkling of the blood.
And
Now
get
a lot of you
Psalms
dummies.
147, 19 and 20 and hold it, brother.
A lot of you dummies, Christian dummies, will say, oh, well, what about the heathens that were the mixed multitude, or the heathens that were traveling with them in the wilderness? First of all, the heathens that were traveling with them in the wilderness, they got basically done off with Jake. Because why? Because they were causing Jake to go off. They were causing Jake to go off. Like the argument between the Egyptian woman's, or the Israelite woman's son, his father was an Egyptian, and he blasphemed the Most High's name. That's one example of many different things that were happening. That's why the Most High told us that we'll be mingling or take on any of these nations and their gods, and that's how they observe and practice and worship their gods. We're supposed to be holy. We have these laws, statutes, and commandments. We're supposed to rule over these heathens that are here with you, not rule with them. So don't try to add that in there, as if the other nations can get saved or they can partake. Listen, the other nations are going to be saved in the kingdom. They're going to be in the other nations in the kingdom. Are they going to partake in divine rulership? Hell no. You're not called the sons of God. So why would you partake in divine rulership?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because on this side, you helped destroy Psalms 83. You helped destroy us as a nation, right? And you boasted in our face,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
The whole time.
That's right.
You were a confederate with Esau, with his treaties, right? Oh, these Negroes, oh, do whatever you
them
want,
down? Yeah.
keep them down. Do not have no contracts, no agreements with them. Treat them as slaves.
Yeah.
Beautiful point.
And then later on, slacking.
I was going to say
Later.
Deuteronomy 20:48. This came back.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Uh,
Oh, well, the Lord put a yoke of irons in us.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to, hey, what?
Yep. And then later on, this double.
Because sorry, but remember, the Arabs, you had a big, you still do it to this day. You have a big hand in the slave trade,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Yep.
I was going to say that earlier, like later on, because that was hardcore slavery, hardcore, punishment. This devil just took all of that and he basically masked it under, because the scriptures say that even Satan's transformed into an angel of light. Right? So just because we're not in hardcore slavery, now we all got birth certificates,
Right.
license.
Mm-hmm.
Your tributaries, you gotta pay taxes.
All of that's forms of contract.
Exactly.
Types of yoke.
Adhesive
Types of
contracts.
yokes.
Yeah, yes.
Those are all yokes.
Yep.
Same, like, literally and spiritually for us, those are part of the yokes as well.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. That's it. Can you call that for a pizza for me?
Hey, just bring it out real quick, brother. Yeah, is that it? Yeah, bring it out.
Psalms 147 and 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, he snatches on his judgment unto Yasharal. He hath not done so with any nation. And as for his judgment, they have not known them.
Right.
Praise ye Yahweh.
That's right. Simply put, man, they have no part in this, right? The Lord is only atoning for Israel, namely the seed on this side that He's going to take out of. I'm going to say Yasharallah, okay? Because I saw a lot of mad breakdowns about the word Israel, right? So we know that it's talking about Yasharallah, but the seed the Lord's going to take out simply from there, okay? And He's only dealing with this nation. This nation. Never. And they don't know His judgments. You read it earlier on in regard to the judgments, correct? Okay, they don't know what we're talking about when we go to them. And I'm talking about, we're talking about actually,
And our own good too.
that's right.
Yeah.
Much for 2/3 of our people.
Yeah.
We don't want it.
Yeah. Which is
Okay.
which is also a part of the curses.
Yeah.
Because the scriptures say that we would lose our heritage. We would go away from our heritage. So you wouldn't even, as an Israelite, you wouldn't even see the land of Israel as home, which is not home right now. But you would never look at that land and have any reconciling memories that we used to be there. That's where we came from. But so that's a curse on you. That's like, if I got amnesia, I got hit in the head, and I built this wonderful house, and I put all these very sentimental, important things in there, and then you're trying to take me through the house, and I don't remember anything about it. You're like, yo, you built this room, you built it. I'm like, I don't know. I just don't remember anything. That's you, Jakes.
Hey, do you know what precept he just broke down? If you were listening, it was Deuteronomy 28 and 68, the it. You're not going to go back. You're not going to go back to the it because the Lord was the one that scattered you, and your desire is waiting for the swing high, swing low, sweet chariot, right? Because that.
The seeder is.
And if you look in that word it, you should not see it again. You go into the word see, it goes into rulership. So yeah, we got some Israelites over there, but are they ruling? Do they even consider themselves as Israelites? Or do they consider themselves Israelis? They're calling upon Yahweh, or they're calling upon whatever they're calling on down there.
That's right. They call him Yahweh.
Yeah.
Not only that, the scriptures also said that you would go to him or Esau for the warrant of all things. So we got to even depend on this goddamn devil, knowing he's a demon.
Yeah, that's a yoke.
Yeah,
right?
that's a yoke.
This is wicked yoke.
Yeah.
Right? You have something?
Romans 9 and 4. Who are Israelites? To whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh and the promises? Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, a Mashiach came, who is over all,
Yahweh bless forever. Amen.
Wow, that's 7 things that was just mentioned.
I know.
And then the Lord, number 8, he comes in at number 8 in a lowly position and shows, right? That you know what 8 means, right?
I know 7 means completion. I don't know.
New beginnings, right? Going into the covenant. But
It makes sense because that's why you said 8. Yeah, it goes in a circle.
Yeah.
Right? A circuit or a vortex. Heard that?
Yeah.
Circuit or a vortex.
Vortex.
If you look at it,
You better
right?
break it down, brother, because that one is hard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even the periodic table is like that. I didn't even fucking know all this time.
Yeah.
You were
I
saying
didn't
that
even know
it means new beginnings. You can tell just by looking at the number 8, both in figure 8.
Figure 8, yeah.
It's an infinity sign as well, right?
The hardest dribble to
Oh,
do.
yeah, that's true.
That's the hardest dribble to do, but if you master it, you love it. But in, beautiful. That's it?
Just a little bit.
Oh, continue.
Verse 6. Not as though the word of Yahweh had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel.
So what does that mean, brothers? Break that down to me. Starting with your report.
I can go into like the ones not claiming to be Israelites, go by these other bywords, and also like the speckled birds. That look like they are Israel or they're not, and vice versa, like pertaining to like skin.
Okay, I'll give you like a 6 out of 10. You got most of it up. I'm looking for something a little bit more simpler, but spiritual.
You don't have to follow along.
That's a little too much, but yes.
Far with that, brother. That is true.
That is true. It's just a little way too far. Ahead. Anything else?
So
Read
pretty
it one
much,
more time. Read it one more time.
Verse 6, Romans 9 verse 6. Not as though the word of Yahweh has taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel.
So break it down to me. I'm a newcomer. I'm a new believer.
so we're preaching that Israel is going to be saved, but not all of Israel. There's a chosen number within the house of Israel that's going to be saved. So when it says not all is of Israel, that is within Israel, it's talking about the elect of Israel and pretty much the
What
rest.
are they called?
The Gentile. The Gentile.
No. It's a better name for them. What are
The
they called?
two-thirds.
Two-thirds.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah, because they were in a Gentile state of mind.
That's right.
They don't know who they are.
So there you go. That's another beautiful point to add to that. So basically, what you're breaking down is they that are not of all Israel or Israel is some of the 2/3 are in a Gentile state of mind, even though they're Israelites. The elect are separate. Now, you have a precept backing that up? Your breakdown? Your breakdown's right. Yeah, you have a precept to back it up.
What do you mean, like many are called, few are chosen?
If you have it, bring it out. That's a good precept. But it's a better precept that's literally linked to that precept.
Thought it was Fiesta time for a second. They're in the mirth.
Brothers found a precept? They found a precept that backs you up? Okay. Anybody find a precept that backs up his breakdown? Okay, I got one. This is Galatians chapter 6, verse 16. And it reads, so you brothers remember this precept if you ever have to break that down. Galatians 6 and 16. And as many as walk according to this rule, peace be on them, and mercy and upon the Israel of God. From henceforth, let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of Yahushua. So that's the point, is 16, the Israel of God, right? So if you know, who's the Israel of God? The elect. So they that are not all of Israel are Israel. It's talking about the Israel of God, which is another name for the elect, simply put. So Galatians 6:16 backs that up, backs up your breakdown.
You have one more?
Yeah, I got one.
Yes, just
Is
share.
there more than that?
Yeah, I got another.
If there's more, read it. How about you? Yeah, finish it up. Finish it up.
Romans 9 verse 7. Neither because they are of the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
Yeah, so you Christians can't just hijack Abraham and leave it at that. The scripture mentioned, Paul mentioned Isaac. Right? Go on. Oh, that was that was the point. That was the point. Yeah, that's fine. And then further on, it tells you that I think is it whose daughter or whose wife was Jacob again? Rachel or
Rachel and Leah.
it was Rachel, yeah. And it tells you, it mentions her name. So obviously that's telling you indirectly Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Also, Revelation 7:4.
Go ahead, read it.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed,
Oh, that's good.
and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of children of Israel.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah. That's a good one too. You're going back to the other point, right?
Yeah. This one makes this one. This one doesn't say the mixed multitude, but the mixed multitude is also into the 1/3 as well.
Yeah,
This is
well, the 1/3 is actually all of the elect.
Yes, but it's just mentioned
This is just one, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So you would have to add
mixed
verse 9.
Okay, yeah, that's
Add
right.
verse 9 to what you read. If you were going to use that precept as a breakdown, read the verse 4, but then you can also read verse 9. That's that mixed multitude too.
Yeah.
What about Zechariah 13 and 8?
That one is talking about the destruction.
That's a
I
good
got
one,
that.
too.
That one's
That's
talking about the destruction.
Yeah,
I had that one. But
Yeah,
that one's
that's
talking
actually a
about
really
the
good one.
destruction.
If you want to split Israel from the Israel of God, Zechariah 13:8.
Yeah, I was talking about. I got that one, but I'm like, yo, this one's talking about the destruction of the 2/3. So I
You
don't
brought
want
it out. That was good. That was good. That was good. That was it.
Yeah, this precept backing you up here. 1 Corinthians 10 and 18. Behold, Israel after the flesh are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar. Y'all know what the sac?
What was that? What was that?
1 Corinthians 10 and 18.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Behold, Israel after the flesh are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar.
Break it down.
What are sacrifices? You break it down.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
So
If you don't know, you don't know. Don't wing it.
I-
Don't wing it. If you don't know, you don't know. Don't wing it. Don't practice that habit. Trust me.
okay.
If you
You
don't
think
know,
you know
tell
a
him to break
scripture?
it down.
If you know a
Don't
scripture
tell him
that
to break it down.
relates to it, then then you're all right.
But other than that, leave it.
So first, it's speaking about the flesh, right? Which is carnal. And the sacrifice.
No,
No.
you're already going off.
Okay.
The flesh is pertaining to your lineage, your heritage.
Okay.
To those that are of the
Yeah.
flesh. So if you're an Israelite, you're an Israelite.
And there's something that they do.
Okay.
Okay, read it again, brother.
Yeah, yeah.
Read it, and then break it down, and then break it down.
Behold Israel after the flesh, right? Remember Paul, that's a good precept to back that up is Paul, right? Where he talks about being a son of Benjamin, of being an Israelite,
Yeah,
right?
that's
But he was a Roman citizen.
It's Romans
he's-
11.
Right, right? Behold Israel after the flesh, are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar? What are the sacrifices?
Break it down.
Well, the sacrifices, one major sacrifice is the sacrifice given by Yahweh Shai. 10 and 18. The major sacrifice is Yahweh Shai, right?
Right. That's what we
You
eat of.
understand?
Yeah.
That's what we're eating of. That's what we're partaking of. That's what we're breaking bread with. That's how I'm breaking bread with you. I'm
Okay.
giving you the knowledge,
Okay.
right? That's a sacrifice. That's a major one, right? The archetype, of course, is the other prophets that have came in the stead of Yahweh Shai and gave you this truth, gave you the doctrine. Even down to our own elders who came and gave you this truth and the understanding, right? Those are the sacrifices. Partakers of the altar, right? What the altar is, the tabernacle, right? That's pretty much it. Yeah, straightforward.
You hear the song that's playing? The rivers of Babylon,
Yeah, for
where
sure.
we sat down.
Yup. On.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty straight.
Yeah, because the history, when you go into the history, then you had a distension between Israelites that were eating of the sacrifices that are at the altar, And just like you're right now, we have all these different stores, and we have to go in there and make sure there's no pork, if it's halal meat and all that kind of stuff. The same thing was going on back then. So you have a lot of believers asking Paul, like, okay, like this is kind of like my favorite shop to go eat. Am I still allowed to eat there? Even though they have idols, because in the China shops they have the little
little kitten or cat or whatever with the arm.
Exactly.
Right,
So
yeah.
back in the ancient world, they would have little statues of all their gods in Rome. So a lot of the newer believers were kind of being like, oh, so I can't go in here now because there's an idol. But Paul's like, no. Go in there and eat your food. Just don't eat food sacrifices to those idols. Because sometimes they'll cook unlawful meat for us to sacrifice to those idols. Like when you go into the China shop and they got all the little kittens there, and you eat whatever you want, you don't know it, but you're sacrificing to their idol. Because that's what they eat, the sacrifice to their idol. So that was kind of what was going on back then too. So when he said those that eat of the sacrifices, they were still believers. Yeah. Right? But they had to grow, in the spirit.
Yeah, and it says, just to further break it down, partakers of the altar is what the elder was talking about as the Israel of God, the tabernacle of Israel, right? That's the altar.
Where we at? Wisdom of Solomon 3?
Yeah.
Let's continue this.
I was going to bring one quick precept on the sacrifices of praise. That's what it really goes into. And Yahweh Shai is that praise. I'll just read the precept real quick. This is Jeremiah 17 and 26 when you read the story and go into it. And it's a reminder in regards to the sacrifice of praise. Real quick, it says here, Jeremiah 17 and 26, it says, I'll read the 25th verse. It says, then shall there enter into the gates of this city kings and princes sitting upon the throne of David, riding in chariots and on horses, their princes and the men of Judah, and inhabitants of Jerusalem, right? Simplifying the 12 tribes, right? And then here's the point in verse 26. All right, so it says, and this city shall remain forever, okay? Verse 26, and they shall come from the cities of Judah and from the places about Jerusalem and from the land of Benjamin and from the plains and from the mountains and from the south, bringing burnt offerings, right, and sacrifices and meat offerings, right, and incense, and bringing sacrifices of praise unto Yahweh, to the house of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So that's what the elect is going to bring, right? So all of the stuff that we rehearsed.
Now,
no, go ahead.
Jacob,
That was the point.
Israel of God, of Yahweh, is doing it spiritually.
That's right. That's right.
Spiritually.
That's
Because
right.
we can't do the physical. Well, we do it during the ceremonies to a certain degree, right? But we can't do that because it says not all things are expedient, right? Because you can't go there and kill a goat and all of this unless you have meat shop and all of this, right?
I got it for you. Okay. This is spirit. This is so going back to what you read, but in the NLT. So 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. It says the temptations in your life are no different from what others experience. And remember, he's talking to new believers, right? That are likened to Gentiles, Israelite foreigners. So they were used to all kind of madness when it comes to customs of the heathens.
Yeah, the Hellenistic. Hellenistas. There's another
Helen?
Helens.
Yeah, Helens.
Something I gotta check back in my Greek concordance. Continue.
Yeah, and it says, and Yahweh is faithful. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is faithful. He will.
It says Yahweh Shimon Shai is faithful. So what about you?
That's right. He will not.
He serves you, but you don't serve. What the fuck? That's a bad relationship, man.
That's right. And it says he will not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand.
Yeah, so the Most High is going to give you your portion, man. He did it to his son. That's scary. He did it to his own son. Aren't we sons too? Right. So he's not gonna serve you a cold dish of whoop ass to you too.
Yeah. And that means literally for us, the believers, when you believe you can do it, you actually can. Literally.
Yeah.
The Most High will never put you in a place. If you're sincere believer, he will never put you in a snare that you can't overcome. So when you start having those thoughts, you have to recognize and identify that to be the thoughts of the flesh, not the spirit.
Perfect example is when them spirits come on you when you're sleeping. Who you calling on? Is it mommy? Is it daddy? Is it Keisha?
You can even pronounce
Better
it
not
a
be
little
any of those suspects.
bit.
It better be Yahweh Shimmy Shine,
Right.
or you're gonna die.
That's right.
And it says, when you are tempted, he will show you a way out. So that,
Not on your time though, on his time. So you're gonna have to wait till you see a way out, and that way out might be death. You know what I mean?
And a perfect example to break down what you just mentioned is your time was when you were in the world sinning, and you were cast away like a vagabond, traveling hearing this doctrine, that doctrine sound good, but then you get thirsty again, man. You drank this water, you're like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Alkaline. Spiritual alkalinity. Oh my,
that's the truth.
fucking good.
Small testimony.
There's pure copper in this.
Small testimony is that that's what happened to me. I was 5% this, I studied that, and all the while, I was like, there's something missing. And so then when I got into this truth, a friend of mine who came up with me, grew up in sandbox days, he's like, yo, why do you believe in this Israelite thing so much? I go, because all my questions are answered. I'm full. I don't have to look anywhere else. All the answers are there. It's
There
the
you
truth.
go.
That's
You
the
went from
truth.
being poor means lacking, to being rich in the spirit.
and so it goes on to say, a way out so that you can endure. So, my dear friends, flee from worship of idols.
Right? Because remember, these new believers were coming from customs of madness with these heathens. Some of them were in their 30s. So 30 years of doing something that they only knew, they had troubles. You had a lot of Israelites that
Hard time weaning off that.
exactly. And you had a lot
It's
of
like
Israelites.
drugs.
Yep. You had a lot of Israelites that had their nose in the air towards these guys, but they were still sincere believers.
So it says, so my dear friends, flee from worship of idols. You are reasonable people. Decide for yourself if what I am saying is true. When we bless the cup at the Lord's table, aren't we sharing in the blood of Yahushua? And when we break the bread, aren't we sharing in the body of Yahushua? And though we are many, we all eat from one loaf of bread, showing that we are one body.
Yeah, so we're all supposed to be eating the one loaf, which is this word, right? Table, right? And it's a spiritual soul food, right? You go somewhere else, there's going to be whole Swiss cheese and other doctrines. This, right? This is it's organic.
That's right.
Spiritually organic. Don't panic.
That's right. I keep thinking about, you always bring up the term of bleach, what bleach does.
Yeah, it's chlorine.
Alkaline. Yeah.
Like the bleach, you can take it, but it brings fungus and mold and it decays. Too much, it's bad for you. Now, if you use hydrogen peroxide, food grade,
Okay.
it gets rid of the fucking cancer.
All right.
Gets rid of cancer.
Good.
Kills it.
Now,
Because of the oxygen. What is this? Isn't this a breath of life?
Yeah, yeah.
So verse 18, it says, think about the people of Israel. Weren't they united by eating the sacrifices at the altar? What am I trying to say? Am I saying that food offered to idols has some significance?
Yeah.
Well-
Which is, you're in a dead state. You doing that. You're in a dead state. Now, this scripture is a good proof that you're bringing that up, man. Right? Because I said about the oxygen. When you got this truth, it gave you oxygen so you can breathe. If you don't have no oxygen, you're going to drop dead. That's why a lot of people right now, they're getting heart attacks. They lack oxygen, man.
That's right.
And it's all spiritually, though.
Yeah, no breath, no life. No breath, no life.
And remember, this word is electric. It said it's the quickening.
Back to it again.
Yeah.
Back to it again. The alkaline. I was just mentioning alkaline, the cleansing.
Yeah, because it's
Cleansing
electric.
fluid? Yeah.
Because what's in those machines that they make the alkalinity, but they put like platinum or whatever. But you could do the same thing with copper.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You're just swirling it around. Or if you get a charge to it. Right? Have you ever seen lightning hit a lake?
Not lately.
Well, there's a video on YouTube you can see, and it just goes, whoa,
Wow.
the water's back alive.
Yeah. Wow.
And it says, verse 19, what am I trying to say? Am I saying that food offered to idols has some significance? Or that idols are real gods? No, not at all. I am saying that these sacrifices offered to demons, not to Yahweh, and I don't want you to participate with demons, because remember, that's what they were doing. A lot of those idols of Dionysus, all the different gods they were worshiping, they had food that they would take, even today. A lot of these Ethiopians and Elamites, a lot of the meat and stuff, they do their shit in the back. When the stores close, they'll do their shit in the back. Just like you have, Muslims, they'll pray in their stores right on the floor there. But a lot of these guys will go in the back and they'll do their sacrifice or whatever their practice of worship is to their God with the food that they gave their customers. So if the customer's sitting down there partaking of those food, that's what Paul was talking about. Right?
Some of these most of these other nations, they got their ceremonial daggers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You see them. They wear it on them.
Yeah, I seen it when I went to this one Jake's house. I was like, what the fuck is this bowl doing here? I'm doing floors and shit. Like, this freaking. I was stripping up the floor and shit, and I'm like, what is this bowl doing here, man? This guy was a lawyer. Seen the bowl, almost got cut on the fucking dagger.
Oh shit.
I didn't even see the thing, because I'm like going backwards and shit, so I'm like, I'll slice myself on this shit, man.
And it says, verse 21, you cannot drink from the cup of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and from the cup of demons. 2.
Yeah, you can't serve two masters.
You cannot eat at the Lord's table and eat at the table of demons too.
So you can't serve this guy right here and then say, oh, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, but I'm serving this guy.
Yeah, but I teach Jesus. Yeah. Yep.
I teach Jeezy Creasy.
That's right. Yeah.
Man. Jeezy Creasy, man. I celebrate Christmas. I celebrate all these pagan holidays. Celebrate Easter. I go to church. Go to church, man. Have you given your life to your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ?
You saved. Yeah, you saved. Yeah.
You want to be baptized in the name of Jesus Christ?
Pork chop eating pastor, man.
Yeah. That's a congregation of the dead.
Yeah.
Ain't no life in there, man.
No oxygen.
Exactly. No oxygen.
Yeah.
Suffocated.
Necropolis. Necro, what's it? No, the city. I was about to say
Necropolis.
Necropolis, yeah. City of the dead.
Any last
Yeah.
precept before we close up?
Ah.
Any last precept before we close up? We got precept? No?
Yeah, I got. Hosea 6 and 1.
Yeah.
Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he has torn and he will heal us. He has smitten and he will bind us up. After 2 days will he revive us, and in the 3rd he will raise us up.
Now, brothers, can any brothers break that down?
Can you read it one more time?
Yep. Verse 2, 6 and 2. Hosea 6 and 2. After 2 days will he revive us.
That goes in 2,000 years. So.
Okay.
In the 3rd day he will raise us up.
and we shall live in his sight.
So what does that mean? You got the first half broken down. What's after the third day?
Third woe.
Nope. Now remember, 3 means understanding. That's a spiritual number.
So you understand now.
So what day are we in right now?
Third day.
That's right. So when did that happen? What's the time period?
1969.
That's right. 1969 for that precept.
Yeah, so we got the breath of life. These are back in us.
That's right.
Verse 3. Then shall we know if we follow on to know the Lord, his going forth is prepared as the morning, and he shall come unto us as the rain, as the latter and former rain unto the earth.
So we're gonna get what Adam had more, even better. That's the first rain, former rain, and now we're coming into the latter rain. And you know, you always obviously that's tied into symbolically our feast of weeks, yeah. First fruits, and then you know. So that's all. Everything is tied to everything in the law concerning our Sabbaths and our feast days, our high holy days. It's all links. They're all links to the elect, starting with Yahushua.
And that word came out, right? Sacrifice, right? Sacrifice of praise, right? Because it's tied to our power, and it's tied to us. Go ahead.
Last precept here. O Ephraim, what shall I do unto thee? O Judah, what shall I do unto thee? For your goodness is as a morning cloud, and as the early dew, it goeth away. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, so guess what? We all need Yahushua. And all that means is we can never get it right, but we're getting it right. We understand that. We're getting it right, but at the same time, we can never get it right. So we're getting there.
Yeah, that's why with Judges 5:11.
Rehearsal of righteous acts.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now we're actually
Place
eating.
of drawing waters.
Done. Right now we're actually eating of the tree of knowledge and good and evil. Right now we're actually eating of it. And how do we know that? Is we're going through our scenarios to understand good and evil so that we can become judges. Then we'll eat of the tree of life. And that's why we'll never die. So with that, we're going to close up. Lord willing, edifying to the elect. We're going to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Hashem, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the bishops, the great millstone, who rule well and have taught us this word in truth and sincerity. Peace and mercy to the elect, starting with 144,000, that's pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. And the rest of the elect that sincerely believe, peace and mercy to you and your household, all right? Abal,
Abal.
and Kwame Yashua to the elect.
Kwame Yashua.